welcome to Taniwha TV Talks. Tonight we have a very special guest tonight, Mr. Sikone from the Document. Welcome, my bro. Welcome, my bro.
Tēnā tātou te iwi. Cheer.
Cheer.
Thanks for having me, brothers.
Nothing much. As you guys know, me, myself, Mana, and Mr. Portoa.
Bam, guns blazing, and you know, kia ora whānau, welcome. Hope you're having a lovely cold day, but makariri outside, my bro.
It is a bit cold, eh?
I've seen it's snowing in Wellington. It's cold in Auckland. It's freezing here, so if you're out there, keep warm whānau.
Yeah, was it last night or the night before? It was real windy and raining. It suddenly just turned up all of a sudden. Because I think it was like 2 a.m. in the morning. I looked outside, everything was still bright, like the moon was still bright. And then it just started picking up the wind. And then today, before I drove to work, there was two trees that had been knocked down.
What's the maunga that we can see from here? Is it Tarawera?
Yeah, Tarawera.
Yeah, covered in snow.
In snow?
Yeah, covered in snow. So you can see it on the way when you come from Ngōtaha.
Do you reckon that's like a sign that the earth is slightly turning a little bit?
I don't know, but I know last year when it happened, one of the bros from here said that he had never seen it before.
Oh, really?
Like that. Well, I don't know.
And has he lived here?
Yeah.
Man, yeah. Because there's only once in a lifetime, not once in a lifetime, but I think it was like less than 10 years ago there was a little bit of snow. And then I remember when I was probably 2007 or 9 there was snow on just
do you guys
the top
remember
of
back in do you guys remember in 2017 when it like semi-snowed here and it snowed on the Mamakus and that?
Yeah.
And I remember we went to Taupo and it was it was snowing, you know, like actual snowing, and it was crazy because, you know, I'm from the north, we're from Auckland, bro. It was never, you know, if there was like sleet or something, we would all be like.
I think yesterday in Auckland they had giant hailstones. Did you see them, bro?
Yeah,
Hailstones in Auckland, big ones too.
Yeah.
Climate change, brothers.
There's a lot of weather stuff happening, from the flood to the hailstones to the storms.
Yeah, man, the East Coast, you know the sad things, what's happening on the coast and that.
Yeah.
You know, my mum and my family, they all, you know, a lot of my family live down in Brisbane.
Yes, Aroa, my brother. No, here, where you from?
Oh.
Yeah, sorry.
So I was born in Gisborne, you know, I went to my whakapapo, but, so I was born in Gisborne, Ngāti Porou, Toki Iwi, and, moved to the Mount from there, and then moved to Auckland, and pretty much lived my whole life.
Past the
Bombay.
Bombay.
Man needs a sip.
Yeah, have a sippy cup, brother.
Yeah.
So you've lived most of your life past the Bombays, but even further past the Bombays, past the bridge.
North side of the bridge, North Shore, GLE. Shout out to the bros. NS all day, still represented, even though it's, you know, centre of New Zealand. Even though I'm down in the 3010, chilling with the brothers.
Yeah.
But so paint the picture. What was North Shore like?
It was good.
I don't know much about. I know a little bit about.
It just like had everything that you could really need in like one area. You know, like I don't really know what angle to go at this because it could go. But growing up on the North Shore, obviously, you don't know anything about Auckland and, you know, about like the sides and where you're actually situated.
Right.
But you know, I grew up on the North Shore, which was you know, and as I grew up into a teenager, and that you started to see what other people's perceptions from other sides of Auckland were of the North.
Because my perception of North Shore is because my whānau, he hardcore in the Mormon church, and there's a big church of Mormons over in the North Shore. So we used to come over Sunday afternoon, lovely community, but I never really spent any time. You know, you get out the car, go to church, do your do, and then jump back in the car, and we'll shoot back to Pont Chevrolet. Or Pakuranga.
Yeah.
So I had nothing but good things about North Shore.
Yeah, it was you know, it wasn't the most you know, it wasn't the most dangerous place to grow up in, but I mean, it still had its, you know, what people don't know is it's still a segregated, like you know, the North Shore is still segregated. You've got the bays and all the rich areas on one side, then you have like Beach Haven, Glenfield, North Coast, sort of Birkenhead, Birkdale, these ones on this side that is more, you know, more of the like middle class to,
right.
You know, so we're still segregated there too. And, you know, I grew up in a state house, like, so, you know, they used to be like, rich North Shore, you know, you guys all rich. I was like, part of wish,
Yeah,
You
that's what I thought. Because last time when I went to North Shore, that was when I was younger, probably 14, 15. I thought it was just a rich place because I went over and there was a small town with like a nice church building looking old town, nice shops.
Definitely. I mean, it's just not like it was a nicer area. Like a lot of our bros from out the south, you know, bros from South Auckland would come over to the North Shore to have a holiday.
Yeah, of course, have a holiday. Yeah.
Have a holiday. You know, it's getting a bit hot out south. So
being a young
come
fella,
over to the north, my bros.
Yeah, being a young fella from the Bay, hot chicks in the Bay, Tauranga, the Mount, and North Shore.
Oh,
that's what we got told when we were teenagers.
That was another thing.
North Shore, and then the Navy base, because the Navy base over in Devonport. Was another reason to go over to the.
And you know, and another thing about the NS is that it got zero love from like when it came to hip hop, when it came to rapping, and you know, it got zero love from a lot of everyone else, every other side.
Why? Because not enough people came from North Shore?
Just the perception of what North Shore was like. It's like, what are these guys, you know?
They don't know how to rap.
Or like, you know, what kind of struggles are you guys going through to be able to say some stuff on the... But because like back then there wasn't social media and stuff, right? So you may be a mixtape from out South Auckland, you know, like we would hear all the straight off the streets. You know, mixtapes coming from the Dawn Raid camp and stuff like that, and they had early rappers on there that... early South Auckland rappers, and we would get that. You would get a taste of that, and be like, "Bro, wow!" But the NS were coming up with their own stuff as well. Like there were rappers that are like, "Bro, like now you know." Like back then they didn't know, but we knew.
So who were some rappers back NS? Drop some names, bro.
So when I was coming up, man, you know, like there were the Assassins. True North, FCA. You know, they were like the makers. Since we were from Glenfield, you know, we heard a lot of their music, and I remember hearing it, and I was the only one in my crew, so we were the younger generation. And you know, shout out to, you know, the Shore Syndicate, man, Sir T, Noon Skull, the Bro 86, Stace the Ace, Ryan, Some Cunt, my Nat, 86, the Bro, that was his rap name.
86.
Stace's rap name was 86, and Some Beep. CKUNT.
Oh yeah.
And Moses, Dylan Moses. They were from the Assassins and True North, and then they ended up.
So they were the old school NS rappers.
They were just a little bit older than us, you know. Like we were the young guys, man, and they were like the older guys. So we're always looking up to them, listening to all their tapes and stuff, and you know, and to us they were like the baddest, the best.
Did you get to do any sort of debuts with him?
Well, like when I was younger, you know, I know because it happened to me, but you get really tunnel vision with what you're doing, where you get super tunnel vision. So it's like you're not looking left and right. You're not really looking to see who else is coming up. You're just pushing yourself. If you're lucky enough to get in, if you're lucky enough to get the call up, you know, then you did. But you know, back then I remember wanting to, but you know, there was never a right time, or like maybe, you know, I wasn't cool enough, I don't know. But
did they have like shows?
Yeah, man. Let's get to that. So you know, so I would have been like 15 maybe, I think, when I first started. I put together like a little crew and that, and so the Shore Syndicate was formed. We had a few rap crews from the North Shore. We had like Assassins, True North, FCA, and then they joined, and then they were joined the main Shore Syndicate, and then they were doing a tour. It was the P Awareness tour.
What's that?
P Awareness.
Oh yeah, P Awareness. I thought that was an acronym.
Yeah, P Awareness tour, and that went around like heaps, like the North Shore, and then some you know, over just in Auckland though. And I would have been 15, right? And I remember we got a, you know, opening spot on like nearly every single thing. There was heaps of crews, but like every weekend, man, there was like this like a gig on, and man, I looked up to all of these rappers, right? Because, you know, and I was the only one in my crew who could rap properly. Cool. Like no one else. I wish I had some other bros who could actually rap with me. But I was the only one who would actually do it, and like I'd carry around a notebook and you know, scribble in my notebook and whatever.
As a sidetrack, I've got a couple of questions with that. Who's your favourite rapper?
Nas.
Nas. What's your favourite album?
Oh, that's a hard one. Like out of every single album.
Yeah.
What about back when you were thinking up?
Yeah. What CD? Okay, then what CD would you protect with your life?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a hard one.
So yeah.
There's so many. Like if you're gonna.
Do you have a collectible one that you have at your house that you still is in mint condition?
Yeah.
I mean, I still got the double-sided Tupac. You know.
Oh. No.
It's somewhere.
In the record.
Yeah, it's a double-sided. Yeah, double-sided one.
What's our favourite producer?
Right, this is hard. Right at the moment, right now.
Yeah, right now.
I'm gonna say Hit Boy.
Yep.
Hit Boy, man, because man, a lot of the stuff that he's done on Nas's, you know, new album since like 2020.
Yeah.
It's just amazing, bro. It's actually amazing. I feel like he might be the last real producer,
Great
like
producers.
real hip hop producer.
Yeah,
like,
right.
if that's not doing drill, it's not doing, you know, trying to conform.
Changed,
Like, it's actually amazing. You should YouTube some of his stuff, bro. It's
Cool.
That's me.
Favorite group, favorite rap group. Which group was made such a big impact in your life? Yeah, like that group.
maybe like G-Unit.
The G-Unit. Yeah.
G-Unit, man. Like if you know being put on the spot, the Locks.
Yeah, so
You know, the Locks.
come up in hip hop around the 2000s. So you'll come up 2000s, 2010s.
Yeah. Well, when I actually started, when I could just record songs and then upload them for people to see, you know, and to hear, there was no middleman, just Facebook.
Right.
You could make your artist page and then upload music.
Was that on MySpace? Were you on MySpace?
No, I wasn't really doing it for the MySpace. You know, I was on like Bebo. I was on Bebo.
Shout outs to Bebo.
Yeah, man, I was on Bebo, and then I only came over to Facebook for like games and stuff. My bro used to play games, like, and used to be like, bro, join my game. So I'd be like, oh yeah, whatever, I'll jump over. You know, next thing Facebook is what it is now.
Yeah.
But the whole hip hop come up on the North Shore. It was different. Well, like, now I look back. But yeah, I ended up like you asked if I ended up doing any collabs and stuff.
Yep.
Not when I was young, you know, because the bros were full steam ahead, man. Maybe if I asked, I don't know. But one of the cool things that I liked is there was shout out to the bro DZ. He had a studio in Glenfield.
Cool.
I don't know how to Glenfield, and I knew his mate, and I recorded with his mate. Shout out to Havila, and he lived behind Hav, and he used to call his studio the dungeon.
Yes.
And the dungeon, and when I finally got in there, bro, and I was recording my own music there, but I felt like the man.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, I'm in the dungeon, and like now that I think back, I was like, you know, it was, but that's what it meant. It meant like I've gone from like just recording at home, or like, and now I'm in. Like I thought I was stepping in the footsteps of my, you know, of the bigger bros, you know, and I've recorded a few tracks with the bro DZ and that, and yeah, they're still online somewhere. It's like I'm glad you can't find them. But,
so how did you link up with the Document? Because I came through your music. I was sitting on my shed, 2012,
that's like
and I was just searching for something. I was on NZ
it's like
hip hop.
years later, man. Years
And
later.
the villains came up.
It wasn't too long.
And then the Document came up. And
Yeah, so like fast forward a few years after, you know, all the, you know, I was talking about Shore Syndicate and all of that. So I would have been like in my teenage years then. And fast forward into like my 20s, you know, I'm like in my 20s, and I sort of, social media's picked up, you know, more, and you can share a lot more.
Yeah.
And then with my bro, it was actually Stace the Ace, who goes, bro, have you thrown your stuff up on A-Bro? Shout out to A-Bro, used to be the dopest New Zealand
A-Bro, yes.
blog spot that I don't know if any of that stuff's still around anymore.
I think so.
But A-Bro used to look out. You could upload your music to there, and then they would blog about it. You'd get hot, your words on the names on the street.
Yeah.
You know, and it was actually a mean outlet for underground artists to get a little name for themselves.
Yeah,
And it was actually Stace the Ace that got me onto that.
Yeah, I've never heard that. What is it called again? Sorry.
A-Bro.
Yeah,
A-Bro.
Yeah,
A-Bro.
since 2007, helping the New Zealand hip hop community.
Yeah.
Check it out on Facebook.
Yeah, you can still go on Facebook and that. Like, they
A-Bro.
still put together stuff, man. They were like, honestly, I'm gonna like say that my quick rise up in the, you know, I hate talking about, you know, my stint in music and that, because you're only as good as the last thing you did, and, you know, stuff like that. I hate talking about this, but yeah, so like flash, fast forward, you know, a few years, and then you know, with Bro, I started uploading my stuff, and the very first track I put out was a track called Damage, one of the first ones. And then Bro used to do a top 5, and like, you know, bang, it was like number 1. Every single track that I put up would be number 1, so my name started like sort of rotating. Most of the people probably didn't care, but to me at the time, I cared, man. I'm like, I'm like, this is an outlet to put my music up and stuff, and so yeah, you know, I start doing that, and then Bro starts putting on competitions and that, and then they put on this competition for KRS-One. The KRS-One was coming to New Zealand.
The legend.
And they had this, it was the MCs Act Like You Don't Know competition, and it was like the MCs Act Like You Don't Know beat. Yep. If you don't know that one, ding 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 boom, ding 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 ding. It's like pretty simple sort of boom bappy beat. Yep. And they put it out and they go, everyone in New Zealand do a verse, put it in, and then people vote. Yeah. You know. So put in my verse to it, voting, and like we were watching the votes, and then I'm in like the top 3, and then I'm in top 1, blah blah blah. Yeah. And end up winning, you know. Anyway, I end up winning it. Yeah. And this is out of like, you know, many rappers in New Zealand, few hundred, whatever, I don't know. And then so I end up winning, and what you won with that was like, you won. The real reason I did it was because actually I didn't have a phone, and you won a phone. like come on, KRS-One was before my time, let's be honest. I know he's dope and all, but I wasn't like, oh my god, I need to rap with this guy, you know. I was just like, I was like, number 1, I need a phone. And it was you got to pick out of these 2 phones, you know. A poster, some gear, and then you get to perform for him. Like that was I'll perform with him. And I'm like, me. So I've won the phone, won that, and then this week it was this one weekend. And that weekend, so that weekend I was also opening up for the bro Sir T Tizzle, who I said was in Sir T, he was in the Assassins and Short Syndicate. Now he had branched off to as a solo artist and got signed by MTC, who was Young Sid's label, or Young Sid's old label, Move the Crowd. So he was releasing his album, Walk With Me, and I got the message, "Cheer, bro, do you want to open for me?" I'm like, yes. Wow. And Stays the Ace as well, did as well. Really? Yeah. And and I'd already released a few songs by then. And but anyway, okay, back to the story. So Sir T's album releases that weekend. KRS-One's is on Saturday. The Bo's one was on Friday. You know, so I had 2 things
the whole weekend.
Yeah, boy, like I felt like me. It was literally from that weekend. So anyway, so I performed at the Bo's thing on Friday, and then on the Saturday night I was going into with KRS-One. So I won the phone. I won the phone. That's what I won. I got the phone and I walked in. He was like, put these 2 boxes down. He goes, which one? I was like, oh, that one. I picked the dumbest one, I think, anyway. I picked the phone. I turned it on. Yeah, sweet. I got a T-shirt and shit. I was like, oh, yeah, got some, you know, collectibles or whatever. And then they just like, they're like, cool, come backstage and shit. So I'm backstage and that, and I'm just like standing there. I'm like, what is that? I think that I'm rapping my verse that I did to win it.
Yeah. Okay.
You know? Yeah. But then I hear it come on, and I'm like, the song comes on and he performs it, and I'm like, oh fuck. So I'm asking him, like, what's happening? They're like, nah, you're just going out there, bro. And I was like, what? I'm like, I can freestyle, bro. I knew. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I just go out there. Like, so then he's performing and stuff, and I'm just out there, you know, I've had a few drinks and I'm feeling pretty on it. I'm like side of stage at the studio by K Road. And then I'm on the side of stage and I'm just like, okay, and then he just comes off the stage, dripping with sweat, high as energy, like, he's like, you know, and he's just like, are you ready? He's just, are you ready to me? And I'm like, ready what? I'm like, yes. Yes, yeah. I was like, yes. And then he like handed me, I can't remember, I walked in, I got given a mic, and then just straight away, boom, 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 and I just walked straight out and just started bloody rapping.
Like freestyle?
Yeah, freestyle.
Wow.
But I can freestyle, so
Yeah.
like freestyle like actual raps, like they sound like actual raps. So
Yeah.
I'm like freestyling the whole thing,
Lovely.
and then he cuts. He's like, cut it, boom, and he's just like, what? You think this guy can rap? And he's just like saying all the stuff I can't remember because I'm actually hyped.
Yeah.
And then he tells us, son, put another one on.
Oh.
Put another one on. And he spins they spin another track. And then, and then I start rapping to that one. Then me and KRS-One start going back and forth. Bar for bar. And then like, I'm like saying something and I don't think I'm dissing him. But you know, it's like a bit of a, I can't remember what I was saying, but I had his shirt on, you know, because I just got given a shirt.
Yeah.
And he's saying something like, man, my feelings gon' hurt. This guy stands here while he's wearing my shirt. And I was like, oh. I was like, man, you got me, bro. Yeah, I was like, that was me. And then that was sort of like from that moment, and then the bro Image, who's in the doc, he put in a verse for that. Yeah. You know, to try and win that too. So we sort of connected over that.
Right,
you know, the bro messaged mine like, bro, mean verse too. And I listened to his, and I was like, bro, mean verse too, brother. Yeah. And we sort of started connecting, like, that was our first sort of connection. And then he emailed me, bro, like a few years. He emailed me about maybe I don't know, Facebook, I can't remember, like 2 weeks after that KRS-One con. And then he told me to come to the studio.
And that's when you guys started doing your thing?
Yeah, shout out to Mikey Rockwell, came into the Rockwell Studios. It feels out of it actually recounting these like this, because it sounds like a cool story. But really in my mind it's just like, but...
Well, it's another day in the life, I guess, but you still had that hunger.
You know, the bro Image.
So Image, so the Psych one, Image, and Shaq.
Shackles, the man, the giant. The slappy with one hand. Shaq, he was like, man, he's like 6'4" or something.
Was he?
He's giant.
Was he the big?
Yeah.
One?
Giant. Well, he's the man. Biggest heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. So I arrive at the studio at Rockwell Studios.
Yeah. And
so the bro's there, and I've looked images there, and I've watched his video clips, bro. If you ever watched the bro, I'm a damn G Image. There's another Image from New Zealand who I was like, bro, just stop it. But if you really know the real Image, the Image Gaddafi, the brother, he is bro, flawless.
Like
flawless on the mic.
Rap?
Yeah, rap. I mean, flawless on the mic, bro. Suave style, Mercedes Benz wearing, chain wearing, like, you know, just always fly.
Did you guys have your own? Because like, there was a question like why Document? Why the name the Document, bro?
Yeah. I'll get there. So anyway, the bro invites me up to the studio.
Yeah.
I go up. The bro's there. Image is there, and I've watched all his video clips, bro. You know, and I'm just like, I can't believe the level of how mean his stuff is, bro. For just like and I'm like, what the hell? How have I never heard this stuff? What? So I'm listening to his shit that's mean. Shackles, and I see Shackles. Where Shaq is in his clip, so they had already been collabing. Yeah. And then I meet at the studio, and Shaq is there on his laptop making a beat.
Okay.
And I'm there to do another beat, to rap another song with the bro Image. Yeah. So we do that one. It's called Golden Streets. It's on our first album, the rookie album. And then we do Golden Streets first. And then we finish that. We come out. And then the boy Shaq's like, yo, I've been working on this beat, man. Let's play it. Blum, 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 blum. Yeah, anyway, the first few chords of the Document track, I was just like, bro, I was blown away. And when the beat dropped, I was just like, bro, it was like that whole, I couldn't believe it. And I was like, I got my verse right now. Yeah. I was like, I've got it right now. Because I had it. Boom, went straight in. Recorded my verse. Shaq's like, I got mine too. Main line on schedule. By goes days, shooting bullet hole blanks, then I'm sitting sideways. Remember being like, bro, you mad, bro? You yeah, mean. And then the bro Image, I don't think he had something, so he sat on it for, you know, a bit of, and then when his one came out, straight smoking as I'm driving at 100 miles an hour down the motorway. See me rolling papes till I'm old and grey. I was just like, bro, mean. And then, you know, and then we named the tracks. The Document was because It was just a document, you know when you're on Windows and they're just documents,
Document,
you know, and then we're like, bro, drag it from the documents, bro, drag the thing from documents, and it was just called Document.
Yeah.
The thing was just Document, and then we just was like, yeah, that's cool, that's us, Doc. And then we're like, we changed the C to a Q to be different.
Yeah.
Doc Life, you know.
Yeah.
Nice.
Holy, bro. So it wasn't even like a meaning behind it. You got that one meaning is just.
It just happened, bro. You know, like
happened.
it just happened, bro, and like, yeah. So we were, you know, at first I still got like posts that I was posting up the document with a C.
Yeah.
You know, before we decided it was a Q.
Yeah.
And then I mean, we linked, and then that track went off like fire, and then we just started doing more and more.
Nice.
More and more tracks.
How many albums you guys?
We did our own we did a rookie album. That's our first one. That was like, but I don't know if that we produced that all ourselves. You know, we pressed it ourselves. I don't know, it wasn't really even an official release, and I don't even know what an official release is. But like, that was our first album, and then Blank Canvas, War and Peace, and then 509. So three
albums.
But Blank Canvas, War and Peace was a double album.
Oh, what?
24 tracks.
24 tracks.
24 tracks, double album, yeah. So we do the rookie album, everyone loves it. You know, we did rookie album, everyone loves it, they like me.
Yep.
So then we follow up and we start recording more and more and more. But this time now we've got people's attention in that, people like us. So we're starting to like reach out now. We send a track to David Dallas. He's like, yep, sweet.
Oh, wow.
We send a track to Tyson Tyler. He's like, sweet. Oh, actually, shout out to Tyson Tyler too, who had me on Silverback, SBG. Before the doc, before any of that, he acknowledged my stuff before really anyone else did. Cool. So shout out to Tyson Tyler, one of the baddest rappers from NZ, the best actually, punchline wise. He's probably the best.
You heard it here.
Yeah. What was I saying?
Oh, it was about the document before the bro.
You signed up with the SB Silverback.
Yeah. But then Oh yeah, we sent out the track to. This is for our second album.
Yeah.
So we sending out the PNC and all that, and then we get our own funding. We get funding for NZ On Air funding for our video clip. We shoot it with David Dallas. Then we go and have a meeting with
David.
With his label, which was.
You guys did a song on Legacy,
which was Dirty Records at the time, and then it changed Frequency Media Group, whatever. But anyway, we had a mean chat, and now it's getting a little bit more serious,
Yeah, of course.
And so then we recorded most of our second album all ourselves. So the work was already done.
Okay.
And it just needed to be mixed, mastered, and then artwork and blah 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 and all of that. We chopped that.
So you're doing videos throughout this?
Yeah, this was 2014.
Okay.
Right, 2014. So we dropped the double album. Then we get nominated for Best Hip Hop Album of the Year. So 2014. I think 2014 we went to the Vodafone Music Awards with David Dallas. With the team, because our manager was like, oh, it's going to be a good look for you guys if you guys go. Yep. It'll be a good look. You guys get to. We didn't ride in the limos or like go to the pre-drinks or anything at that one. We actually walked in with Taika. But
what? Tell that story. What happened?
But Taika didn't want to. So we're walking by Spark Arena.
Yep.
We're walking behind it, and he's wearing this full denim getup, like denim jacket, denim jeans, like it's like a light blue. And we're like, oh, Taika, Trevor, and he's like, Trevor, we're walking with him, and then. We go to walk the red carpet, and he goes, "Nah, boys, I'm going down the back."
Oh.
He's not walking the red carpet. He was like, "We want to walk the red carpet."
Yeah.
So like we're walking, no one knows who we are. We just walk and we take some pictures, and that was the first year that was with that I'd ever gone to the Vodafone Music Awards like as a down on the table.
Yeah. Now it's about you.
That wasn't about me. Us that year. So we were there for David Dallas. He was nominated his album Falling Into Place.
Yeah. Oh, right.
And he opened with Running It.
Yeah.
Was me. Our table was right up the front. Lord was like 2 tables over.
Oh, crazy Lord.
It was me. Now that's how you knew that he's winning his award because
he's up on the stage. He's right there
close.
close.
He's up on stage and our tables up
the front.
Yeah,
of course.
So you know, it was me. We had a cool party and blah blah blah, and then our double album, War and Peace, was nominated the next year.
Whoa.
For best hip hop album of the best hip hop urban album. It was still merged then.
Oh, still some racism going on.
Oh no, just the categories.
Yeah.
You know, they put R&B and whatever and hip hop albums together.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it was like the time when Lady Six beat Lady Six beat David Dallas Roaston.
Oh right.
You know, that was a little bit like, hey,
That's right.
Roaston. Roaston's one of the best, you know, anyway. So then, then we get nominated, and we knew we weren't going to win, but our tables like halfway, and like Janine was performing, and they were like, oh yeah. So Janine, you know, shout out to Janine, she's an amazing artist.
Yeah.
If you know Janine in the mixtape, she just goes by Janine now. She's an amazing artist, man. But yeah, some out of it stuff.
So
like,
what was the difference between that first time you went red carpet to the second time?
Well, obviously now we're nominated artists, so we get all these like, all of a sudden all these like interviews and like be on this radio and talk to this magazine and go to this place, you know. And then it was like, oh man, people know, and like people like study up on you, and they were like, oh, so you went to the, oh, so you're gonna say, oh, but on styles, and it's like, and then so obviously the difference is now we're like nominated artists, so we got to go to like the pre-party at whatever the hotel or whatever it was, and it was actually pretty cool. You know, we got to hang out with all the New Zealand artists and stuff, and I remember the bar was over, you know, and we're like thing to go up and was it free? Was it free or no? It was all free. So it was all free. So you go up and I was like, "Is this? What's this?" She's just like, "What do you want?" I was like,
"Help yourself."
Yeah. Anyway, so I was like, pretty much from that party, I was pretty on.
Cool.
And then you get, you know, walking the red carpet. People know I was getting asked questions now about. You know,
how do you prepare yourself for that?
I was drunk, bro.
Oh, okay.
I was halfway gone, bro. So I'm just going, woo, that life. You already know what the life is, and that's
was there any kind of drama at the awards? No drama? You would expect
not with us, boy. Not with us, man. There was probably some, but you know, and then we didn't win. Even though I think like if we would have won that, I think it would have done a lot more for us and what we were doing here in New Zealand than what it did for Janine, because she just kept it back to America. And
that happens a lot, eh?
Yeah. But that's all good, you know.
No, it's cool, eh?
It is what it is. But that was a fire-ass experience, bro. Fire-ass.
So I've got a couple of choose one. Got to give you two names. You choose one. Just a couple of them. Nas or Jay-Z?
Nas.
Bad Boy or Death Row?
Death Row.
DMX or Tupac?
Tupac.
East Coast or West Coast?
East Coast.
Cool. Busta Rhymes or Snoop Dogg?
Snoop Dogg.
Okay, last one. Hit 'em Up or Ether?
Oh, that's a no comment, cuz.
Yeah, that's a drink. We've got to get to that one with drink. So that's a drink one. Okay.
That's a no comment, dude. That's a drink.
Did you see Snoop Dogg's new song? How he's going to different countries now, and he's doing different rap songs in different countries, bro. Like India.
Honestly, Snoop Dogg is just like he's transcendent.
Yeah.
He is the be all and end all.
So there was like American rap, and then he's just like, nah, screw that. We're just gonna and do some other stuff.
Yeah, nah, he can do anything these days, man.
That guy's good.
So I want to go back to as well as being a rapper, you were a dancer.
You're a dancer.
You were a dancer. Nardwar, speaking of
Nardwar. You're exposing me.
Was it like a
he was a dancer.
Street dancer or like performance, like a stage performance dancer?
Oh, well, nah, because back when I was like when I was like 15, 16, it was there wasn't a lot of opportunities for dance. Yeah. It wasn't. Like now, oh my God, you can actually study hip-hop dance now.
Yep.
And get tohu in hip-hop dance. That's what I would have wanted, you know, and I can remember, so I was young, you know, it was urban, it was like an urban Māori, Pacific sort of dance, like, it was like a merge, you know, like that's probably as good as you're going to get it back then, like to perform on stage, you know, you do a bit of breaking and then a bit of...
your background dancer. Yeah,
it would have been hard to get sponsors for you guys to performance stuff back then too?
Well, like no, because it was a group. It was an already established Māori group.
Yeah.
That did this quite a bit. So they already had like a senior group, and then they would do a summer school, and then pick out of that summer school for like a group of younger tauira to be under them, and then you slowly can move up and take over the reins once they get older and stuff like that.
Yep.
So yeah, and it was like when I think back, where I could, I could like do endless windmills and like like I could break dance pretty mean, and I was pretty fit. Like the training regimes of that, and when you're young, like I did it for like nearly a year.
Wow.
To the point that I just went and I just stopped.
Yeah.
It was like and so I still lived on the shore. I would jump on the bus, and I'd bus to town. Then I'd bus from town to Newmarket, or I'd catch the train into Newmarket, and then that's where our studio was.
Right.
So then I had to be at that studio. So we'd go like 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, like yoga, like Tai Chi and meditation.
Yeah.
So you do like meditation in the mornings, and then an hour of like yoga, and then like an hour of like Tai Chi, and our day hasn't even started yet. That was like, and I did this for ages, and I ate nothing but like rice and like salad and stuff because they were vegetarians.
Yeah.
The dance teacher trying to push that on us, and it was all good. And that I did it for about a year, and then I just felt like it was too controlling. Yeah. And then I just didn't go back.
Yeah.
It's the training was a lot harder back then because my partner, she went to Worlds for her dance as well, and she had to do similar where she had to go to Hamilton, and then she would have to go and train, like she would have to run down the bridge, and then it would be like a 1 hour run before she starts eating her.
Well, it's because these these performances that we're putting together were like 40 minutes plus. So
there were stage shows.
Yeah. And then you'd run off and get changed, and then come back. You'd have like 5, maybe 2 minutes to get changed, and come out, and
that's cool.
And I'll be like the main person. And it was like, so what the group was for remember when Suzanne Paul tried to open up Ra Waka?
Yes, Suzanne Paul.
Up on the North Shore?
Yes.
Yeah, she tried to open up. It was called Ra Waka. And so it's a mean restaurant. It's on the North Shore. When you're from the shore, that restaurant down in Birkenhead. It's like it's called like the boat ramp now, or something like that.
You go down. It's a big double one.
Yeah. I know. So there's a stage in the middle, and then we would perform to the people eating.
Cool.
It was sort of just like Amitai when stuff like that. They walked through like and that was the whole reason we were training and stuff for.
Nice.
Like I would like like the pitatara and then mihi and that. I don't mean mihi. If I remembered it, I would be up. But that was a good like year and a bit of dancing being paid. I think we got like $200 I think.
That's sweet.
A week, Well, every week I just bought me a new pair of Air Force Ones. Because $200 they were like $199. So then I would like stop at because I would bus from the North Shore to town. Yeah. So then Foot Locker right there. Boom, jump out, grab it, and then but yeah, that was a sign. Early signs of not being self-control of my money.
But then your life took a change again. You went into video editing.
Oh yeah.
You were telling me before you used to video edit wedding videos.
Yeah, no, I worked for a company that did. I never got to, thankfully. But
because a lot of people today know you through your video editing, your post-production work with Arataua. You're behind the scenes. We see you waving in. When all of a sudden,
for the people, I like that camera scene where it starts off with the whole crew in the back, and then it goes into them.
Yeah, hard up. My son's actually here.
Bring him in.
Yeah, go. You guys chat, and I'll bring him in.
Levi can.
Levi. I like this natural.
We just got.
He might be at the front, I think.
We just got 2 questions. One from Tones saying, when you moved to Rotorua, bro, like besides your bros, like did you meet good people in Rotorua when you moved to Rotorua, or were you like, who are these guys? I don't want to be near them at the moment.
Oh no, I'm
a
zero judgmental person.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a sad, a bit of a sad reason why we really moved here. So moving here was it was just a little bit, you know, not really myself really. So, and I don't really make new friends anyway. I'm not like a new friends guy. Like, well, I sort of am, but like, it takes ages for me to like finally like, you know, but yeah, when I finally I mean, you know, when I finally did meet the, you know, the right people, because that's why it takes a while, you know. I had to do a few things. I had to, like, the training, you know, through training, and when I met you, and then PT, and then I was just blown away by, like, just, I don't know, just this blasé-ass guy, and just, bro, just look at like all your achievements. And it was actually when I moved here, I had not met so many successful Māori, bro. Business owners, bro. Like, just, you know, there are probably heaps in Auckland, but it's so widespread, bro, right, that you don't really know them. Like, business owners that are really, really passionate and like, and not only that, but, you know, i roto i te ao Māori, bro.
Te ao Māori.
It's in
tikanga reo,
tikanga, and it's like, that's what I loved about it. And obviously I clicked with you guys, the Bro Tones. We can sit for hours, bro, and just call it all, like hours and hours and hours. And I can't do that with many people. You know, that's how you know. So the ones, I'm glad I met you guys here. Because I think I know I met the right ones.
I'll tell you a story. So, of my cousin Stacey came in and she goes, "Oh, we're just introducing ourselves," because I hadn't met her, but I knew my Sykes' partner's mum, and so Sykes' partner's mum, Susie. Because Susie was like, "Oh, I'm gonna send my daughter and have a talk, you know, just like check us." And she came in, and then behind her was this quiet fella. He's so quiet behind her, like, check us. And he was like, hey, I'm Pete. But when he said, I'm Pete, I could hear his voice. And then something in me was just sitting there looking at him the whole time, like, something about this fella's voice.
I've heard that voice.
Because as we do when everyone comes in, whakawhanangatanga. So we all sat down, introduced ourselves, and then immediately started talking. I was like, bro, are you Psych 1? He goes, yeah, bro. We're like, oh my God. I was buzzing to the brothers. I was like, this fella famous, bro. This fella famous.
Bro, because we're actually, you know, because I just finished my job at the Wānanga, bro. Actually, when I moved here, I had a job at the Wānanga, Te Wānanga o Aotearoa, the Te Ipiro unit, which is in Te Awamutu. So that's for, you know, that's, you know, I was in post-production editing and that. And then that's, so then I finished there, and obviously I needed mahi, bro, so I started, you know,
just connecting.
Connecting. So I needed to connect with more people, and
sorry about the mahi thing, but the social one,
no, bro, I got a few jobs out of you, bro, over the years, brother. It's been on, bro. And I've aced by all of them.
I remember when I first met you as well. It was across the street in the DNA, the cat box. When I first heard that you could rap in it, the bro
shout out to the cat
he was
box.
in Document, his Psych 1, the bro was telling me. I was like, I've heard the Document before, I've never heard Psych 1, because I never, like, I couldn't get into that kind of stuff when I was younger, because I was more of an outdoorsy forest guy. But like, when I first heard that, we were starting to do raps inside the cat box and stuff, and then I remember we got drunk and we just started like hammering all these raps out.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then like, I didn't want, like, I felt like, I just quiet him down a little bit because the bro's here and let him take the reins.
Yeah, oh man, I was always the one who was rapping and that. But anyway, going back to what you said, like when I was getting into editing, bro, because we got sidetracked with our side quest for it all. But yeah, so like, you know, I found out that my partner was pregnant, and I was 20, I remember, and I had just decided to go to film school that year, which is South Seas, which is it's a film and TV school on the North Shore.
Oh, okay.
So I go, so me and my partner were flatting, and then I was the only one in the flat that wasn't studying in the year before it, in 2016. Oh no, in 2006. Wow. 2006. I was the only one in our flat not studying at South Seas. I was doing music and audio. So I saw what they did over the whole year, and I was like, oh, that's mean. So 2007 comes along, and I go, and I actually go for directing because I wanted to be a director.
Okay.
Yeah, because and I got in for directing, and then when I got there, I did a few first terms and that, and then I asked them, oh, who gets like all the jobs and stuff when you leave? And then they're like, oh, it's pretty much the camera, lighting, audio guys, and the editors.
Yeah. And
I was like, oh. And I already knew, I hate audio cameras. All right, go shoot, stand there.
Yeah.
Shoot
no
there.
problem. Yep.
I actually hate it, It's not.
Cool.
And then, but then obviously, with the post-production, I was like, oh, what, I just sit here and sort of edit. Like, I didn't know how to use computers and shit.
Okay.
So I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. So that year, I just learned what I can for editing.
Yeah.
And then everyone that, we flattered with and friends that they made the year before, they went out into the industry and had jobs and stuff. So then met one of the bros, and then he was like, yo, I'll talk to my boss, bro. This is before the end of the year. I haven't graduated yet.
Yeah,
and then he's like, yeah, so my last half of the term, I go and go to this job interview. She's like, yeah, sweet. You can start. And I was like, oh my God. So then I go back to South Seas and I'm like, I hadn't finished my all my paperwork and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All that last stuff,
Yeah.
And I just went up and I talked to the head of the school at the time, and I went, look, I got a job Monday.
That's cool.
Yeah. And I went, I'm not coming back. I haven't done my paperwork and stuff. And then they're like, oh yeah. He was like, shook my hand. Shout out to Gerben. He shook my hand and he goes, that's great. We'll see you at graduation. And I was like, okay. I hadn't exported my final trailer, to play. Nothing. I've just gone. I just left. And then I go to graduation and I'm like crossing my fingers like, please graduate. Please graduate. Please graduate. Like, I didn't know.
Because there's no guarantees.
Yeah, well, I didn't know. I was like, I did everything. I delivered my last, my final project.
Yeah.
And everyone like, please. And then I see my trailer play and I'm like, oh, cool. Someone exported it for me. Obviously they would have gone through and seen who didn't export their trailers.
Yep.
So exported my trailer played and I was like, and then my the editing teacher at the time, shout out to Bernadette Kelly, she called out my name, Peter. I remember Peter, and I was like, oh yeah. Went down, got it, and I was like, thank you, means so much. She's like, I know, Peter, I know. And I was like, thank you. And anyway, and so that was in 2007. So ever since 2007, it's now 2023.
So that's 16 years?
Been in post-production, bro.
Wow.
And in the past, I'll say, for 5 years, I've become senior. Actually, where I can fix any problem.
Yeah.
I know exactly what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
I could have 1,000 people looking over my shoulder. Like I used to, someone would be watching me. I'm like, oh my God, am I doing it wrong? Oh, now I'm just
nice.
So.
And with the software, it's just you've got to keep practicing and learning.
Yeah. It's more like when you know how things work, right? Yeah. Nearly most editing softwares are the same. Right. Most editing digital workstations, they're the same. Apple makes different shit, So Final Cut is a lot different to Premiere or something like that, right? But magnetic timelines are starting to become because they use DaVinci, and Resolve and that. So and that has magnetic timelines. You can turn them on and off now. So So now, moved here and then. I've been working with this company called Arataua.
Yeah,
shout out to Arataua. Shout out to my bro Shay and Kohirangi, Milne. They've kept me employed for the past 5 years. They must be doing something right for the team.
And the production quality.
Oh yeah, super high. Now the type of stuff we're doing now.
When we started this show, Something for the People was just finishing.
Yeah.
So we were like, well,
and that's the second season. We did that back to back, boy.
Wow.
We did the first Something for the People, and then MCS were like, we love it.
Yeah.
There's the next one, and we had to do that 3 weeks later, boy.
Yeah.
We packed down all the stuff, and we had to quickly,
But that's why, because a lot of people are going to podcasts to get the information. We're not going into the radio. We're going to our podcast.
Yeah. Even the British news was like to this guy who was doing podcasts. He was like, "Why does everybody watch podcasts and TikTok? Those like people to get news rather than news stations now."
Well, like I'm not trusting those. I'd rather trust the guys, bro. I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah.
You can't trust the actual news.
Yeah.
Like
Sometimes,
you just can't like fully trust. Maybe you could trust. Can we trust Oh yeah, surely we can trust Okaha.
Yeah.
We can trust Okaha. Shout out to Kiriyama, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and everyone that's over in Italy and that, dumbass. Dumbass. It looks dumb.
Yeah. Cuddle bomb.
You guys having a dumb time.
Yeah, like
Everyone over in Waro, dumb time. It's freezing here. It's freezing. I'm sick of being cold, guys.
Yeah.
Do you know when I lived in Auckland, bro, I didn't even care.
In Auckland.
I didn't care about cold. I used to think, I'm all good.
Yeah, it's not cold.
I hate cold.
Yeah.
Come to Rotorua, it's ever
I actually
changing.
hate it, bro. It goes through the clothes and into your skin.
Into your spine, makes you shiver.
So you just mentioned your son was here and he BJJ.
Yeah.
So I know that's a passion of yours, bro.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you did BJJ as well.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm a purple belt.
Purple belt, wow.
Yeah.
How long have you been
A
rolling?
purple
You've
belt.
been learning the art of
6,
BJJ, bro.
7 years.
Can you
I
go
think.
back and describe to me what's BJJ?
Yeah.
So Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu
Yeah.
is the art of ground fighting, manipulating locks, joint locks, leverage, not really using strength a lot, but leverage and weight transfer and stuff like that.
Okay.
So it was, you guys know, it was Jiu-Jitsu is actually it comes from judo.
Mm-hmm.
The art of judo, and then obviously the Brazilians got a hold of it and put the emphasis on the ground and leverage and stuff rather than judo's already
throws.
throws. I love judo.
Landing.
But my son's been training since he was 7. He is 6, I think, 6 or 7. He's 15 now, and he's orange belt.
Cool.
Just got his orange
So
belt.
what's the name of your sons? Who's your sons?
So my oldest boy is Taishan
Taishan.
Miringaorangi. My middle son is Te Aorangi Miringaorangi, and my youngest boy is Tawhiri Mātea. Yeah.
And
All 3 super sporty. All 3 train. My youngest started when he was 4. He just graded tonight. He got a tab on his grey white belt.
Congratulations.
He's armbarring little kids and stuff like that. He's pretty on. Te Aorangi will be moving on to the yellow belt ranks now. He's 10. More placid, that boy, our boy. I don't even know if he really likes 30. Just does it because we all do it.
His bro's doing it. Dad's taking
it.
So what does it mean to you being a dad with your sons doing this?
Yeah. It means he's because me now, I would have loved to do karate, something maybe, even if I didn't want to do it, because like when you get older, men, we want to fight, we want to know that we can,
fight yourself.
Protect the
family. You can, if things were to happen, you're not totally clueless or that, so that's my sort of like personal view on it. Like my thing, like I've always wanted to do something, be good at something, just be good at something, not just like not. I just don't think I was ever really good at one thing, just like really honing in skills and being mean at like one thing.
Yeah. It takes a long time to be good at one thing.
So like,
whole lifetime doing it.
I mean, like my oldest son now, it's clashing because he loves basketball, So, and I had to pull him from a few comps because I had him in competitions.
Okay.
But I had to pull him from that because he's got games on, right?
So you got to choose.
Now I need to give a little with him because actually he's starting to like, at this age they sort of start to lose the passion for jiu-jitsu, but it's just tough. Like you're tough, boy.
Yeah.
You're doing a passion list then. Like, I don't care. You get out there and do your. So that's why I give a little, so he can do his tournaments, basketball tournaments. As soon as this is done, bro, straight up on the mats.
Yeah.
You're back to training, back to
Yeah.
And then when basketball comes around again, we're not. I'm not just gonna be like, you're not doing basketball. Like that's the wrong way. Yeah. Like he'll just end up going, F jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah, I'm doing nothing now.
Yeah, that's right.
So where the younger two are already they're still at that. You have to go. And as they grow, like these boys have the potential to all be black belts before they're like 20. And if you know what how long jiu-jitsu takes, that's a 10 year.
Yeah,
it's 10
right.
years at the least to get your black belt.
Yeah.
What's the process for the with the ranks with with the
Oh,
belts?
so you start obviously. So the kids have a different rank to the adults. Okay. So the kids start at white. They go grey. They go grey, yellow, and orange, then green, and then the adults go white, blue, purple, brown, black.
Okay.
So I'm 2 belts away.
Ooh. And then do we call you Master Pete?
Professor, I think.
Sensei Pete.
Professor, yeah, it's a professor, eh?
Professor.
Right. Yeah.
What?
It's the fighting arts, bro.
Yeah. I thought it would be like like our Master Shifu, Sensei.
Yes. I see Professor on the.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's more like a diploma than a
10 years, bro.
10 years.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah, that's a master's. That's a PhD. That is 10 years.
Yo.
So if you could talk to your 16-year-old self around BJJ, what would you say?
First of all, I'll just tell myself to shut the fuck up and just listen.
Yeah.
You don't know shit yet.
Yeah,
Life hasn't even touched you.
Yeah.
You haven't even felt the wrath of what's going. Like, just shush and listen. Use your ears. That's what I said to him. Like, obviously, I'm on this side, so but just shush. Use your ears. Listen to your elders, and your mum and dad do know better.
Yeah, hard. Very nice, very nice.
And what advice would you give yourself for starting music in their age as well?
Yeah.
Oh, music, man. There's so many outlets now, so many options, so many opportunities you have there now. Like, you can become bedroom famous, and your boy, you smack yourself on the corner of something, and that sound effect. Yeah. Next minute it's viral. It's a weird time. It's a weird time where your whole song isn't going viral. You're not famous for your whole song. You're famous for like 2 lines. Oh. So when I'm grateful for something, everyone knows it from the song. So.
That's how music starts.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Anyway, we're getting close to our time, whānau. Any events or any exciting things coming up for you, bro?
What's coming up?
No, nothing coming up for me. But like, shout out to Jay, who's bringing Shofu in the house.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a good one. Yep. What's our date for that?
So it's 19th. I think 19th. Saturday 19th. Not next Wednesday. Not next Saturday.
Have to roll through because Shofu used to show me heaps of love. One of our first gigs is the Doc.
Yeah.
He tweets me on my way.
Oh.
And then I look out. There's fucking people on the floor, and he's over by the bar.
Yeah.
And I was like, he showed heaps of love to Sike1 early on. Mad love to Shofu, mad love to Jay. Sure. And that's probably it.
We'll get us some VIP tickets for that, brother. Hey, we hear us first. We're coming to. I also want to give a shout out to Tony James. Rat what happened yesterday, brother.
Catch those dudes, brother.
Catch those dudes.
Yeah.
But big loves to Tones and Donna and all the fun out there to Parlay.
Yeah, hopefully you guys get through it. I'm sure you, because they had that happen once, on Hinamaro Street.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. That's sad.
It's no good, bro.
Just don't do it, brothers.
Don't do it. That's it.
You could earn stuff way better. Anyway, and for us, what do we have on for? So next week we got lazy day.
Yeah, actually, we've put a request into one of the cousins who live here, who actually have a bit of a spicy occupation.
Oh, a spicy occupation.
If we can convince this cousin to come and talk to us, we're gonna do this.
Is it more spicy than getting money off TikTok licking?
Well, it's a digital side hustle.
Oh.
Let's just leave it like that.
Oh.
But we're gonna hopefully bring his cousin who's got. Be informative, I tell you that much. Informative.
I'm actually kind of curious too what's going to happen with that anyway. And also we'll be releasing our Reacts video as well from this week. That's going to be based around, I don't know if you guys heard of LARP.
Yep.
It's live action role play.
Yeah.
With foam swords, knights and stuff. And there's actually an MMA version of it still. Yeah.
Smack him.
Yeah, legit.
Poke him.
Poke him on the eye.
Poke him.
Get him. Rush.
Lick.
Yeah.
Ice cream.
Oh,
well, I don't know why she's got that the head thingy, and she's got a popcorn in the mouth. Like, do people just sit there waiting for their popcorn to pop, or are they actually looking at her, licking and grabbing and? Who knows? Who knows? Anyway, Whānau, thank you for tonight. Thank you for coming in. We got actually, I think it was one of our shows that actually have a lot of the most people come and listen. So that's dope. That's dope. It's awesome seeing more people coming in. And yeah, but that's for us for tonight. I hope you guys have a good night. Church for coming in.
Yeah.
Taniwha TV out.